Hey Cellos, this is a how to practice video for song number 110 out of Essential Elements Book 3. The purpose of this assignment is that you're eventually going to make a recording of you playing the A part while I play the B part in the background. When we get to the end of this video, I'll explain exactly how you make that recording because it can be a little bit complicated. But for now, we're just going to learn the notes and the rhythm in the A part. We're going to start with the first line because that's pretty self-explanatory, but I'm just going to make sure we check on our rhythm and our intonation. This second line is a little tricky because it has shifting in two places. So we'll go over those really carefully. And then I'll play the entire A part for you so you know what it sounds like. Starting with the first line, the most important thing to remember is the key signature. Last week we did our C major scale. We're still in C major, so there are no sharps. In fact, there are no third fingers at all in this first line. Every time you play C on the A string, it's going to be 2 fingers. That might change when we get to third position. We might need a third finger here and there, but when in doubt, play second finger. We're also playing all quarter notes from here at the beginning all the way until these eighth notes here. And so that the recording is easier to make, I'm taking out all of these fermatas, so you can pretend like these don't even exist. All right, let me show you what it sounds like starting from here till like these eighth notes right here, and then we'll go over that rhythm. So I'm going to make sure I start on an up bow and a second finger, and it'll sound like this. So again, remember, second finger for C. When you go for that D in the second measure, make sure that you go all the way to fourth finger and you don't accidentally play third finger instead. All right, this rhythm here in these last 2 measures of this line, it's very important to make sure that we play quick eighth notes and we really count during this half note. If you notice, the B part, my part, has 2 quarter notes while you play your half note. So if you play it too short, we're not going to line up. I'm going to start right here so you can hear what the rhythm sounds like. Starting on a C natural again. Okay, so really make sure you count to 2 during that half note. All right, this next part is probably the trickiest part of the song because it requires something different that we may not have learned already. You actually have 2 options for this part, so you get to pick what's more comfortable for you. I'm going to explain this 2EX right now, but then I'll also show you how to do it in third position. So the Roman numeral 2 means second position, and we figure out our positions based on what note our first finger is on. So when we put our first finger on the third note on our string, it was third position. We're just going to put our first finger on the second note on our string for second position. You'll notice we have a B right before it, which is first finger here. So all we have to do is take our first finger and slide it from B to C. And it's C natural, so it's where our second finger would go. So my B sounds like this. And then when I shift it, it sounds like this. So B and C. It's not a very big shift, so it's pretty easy to find as long as you don't go too far. I would practice that a bunch of times. Should sound like Jaws if you're sliding between B and C. Okay, then for the next notes, we have an extended 2 for D because we can't actually reach E with our fourth finger. If we just go 1 and then 3 and then 4, our fourth finger will land on E flat. So instead, we're going to go 1, extended 2, and then 4. If I play those notes in order, they should sound like this. So if you feel comfortable with this with extensions, this will be pretty easy for you. Just make sure you drop that whole hand down to get a big stretch between your 1 and 2, and then your fourth finger will land on E. The rest of the fingerings, you're probably going to want to write them in. So we had 1, 2, and 4. This will be extended 2, 1, 2, and then you have some choices. I would just cross over to the D string and play this note also with my 2. So 2, 2. So that part would sound like D, G. Sorry, I missed my D string. So you can just hop your second finger from here to here and you're still playing G. Or You can shift back if you want to. All right, so if I start from this measure right here and I play the whole thing in second position, this is what it'll look like. Well, starting in first position. Okay, then when I get to my open A, regardless of what option you're choosing, we're going to shift back to first. All right, if you don't like the idea of second position, it's too confusing for you, you can also just use third position. So we would play our first finger here, second finger for C, and then we would shift to first finger for D, third finger for E. So this would look like E, C, shift, and then 3. Here we got to do a little bit of gymnastics. We probably want to shift back right here for D. That way we're not shifting in the middle of the slur. Okay, so again, in third position, this would look like 1, 2, shift, 1, 3, shift, 4. Okay, I kind of think that's a little bit easier because I don't like extensions, but it is a farther shift, so it's a little less efficient. All right, and then at the very end, this should be what we're used to. We're definitely going to use third position here. So don't worry about this -1. We're actually going to shift during our open. So we'll be on regular first finger here and our second finger for C. And just like we did in the second option for over here, we'll shift to 1 and then we'll have 3, 4, and then 1 and then shift back. So right here, this part I'll do it very slow. Starting on open A, first finger for B, put down my 2 for C, shift to D, then 3, 4, 1, now we shift back to 2. Okay, that whole part in time sounds like this. Getting that slur in there is pretty tricky, so if you want to take it out, you totally can. Hopefully you can eventually add it back in when you go to do your recording, but if you can't because we're shifting in the middle of it, that's okay. I'm going to play the entire A line for you so you can see what it sounds like. I'm going to use the second position down in this part over here, but then I'll be using third position at the end. Then we'll talk about how you make your recording with me playing the B part. All right, up bow, C natural, ready, go. Okay, so after you have practiced the A line and you feel really comfortable that you can play it at about that speed, then you're going to make a recording of both you and me playing at the same time. I'm going to explain how that would work on your iPad. If you have some other kind of setup where you have like 2 devices or a computer or something, you can use whatever you want to, but I know that it will work this way on your iPad. First thing you're going to do is start a recording on Recorder HQ. So if you don't have that app yet, please get it from self-service. Just hit record, and then you can switch to the video of me playing the B part. There's a separate video where I'm just playing the B part. The music in that video is actually on the screen, so if you're using a screen where it's big enough for you to read, you don't need P-score, you don't need to have to print it out, you can actually just read it off the screen. So you have your recording going in the background, switch to the video, hit play on the video, and then wait for me to say 1, 2, ready, go, and then we'll play it together. So hopefully your Recorder HQ is picking up the sound from the video of me playing, plus you playing over top of it. When you're finished, just stop the video, stop the recording, and then you submit it like normal. All right, so be careful, make sure that you're playing a lot of second fingers, practice that shifting, don't just guess at it, actually take a couple minutes to figure it out, and then I hope to hear that recording with both parts at the same time. I'll see you later.